Hi, here we are with another PvP Hero Hunters video. This one is going to be centered around Ronin. He's one of the stronger attack characters. I would put him into more of a high risk, high reward tier. He can do a ton of damage, but he also is pretty low in health and can be taken out quite easily. And so with Ronin, you're going to definitely want to get him up to Platinum for his skill Honor Bound, which all allied heroes with less max health than this hero gain an amount of health. For each ally with less max health, this hero's weapon deals an additional amount of attack damage. And so obviously the stronger your Ronin is, the more health your allies get and the more damage he will deal. And so right now I have a pretty even setup here with Ronin and everybody else is a 9-star level 90 platinum. So for support on this one, I'm going to be running Jarek. Once his skills get going, he's great at stunning and lifting and pretty much taking out a character that way. Briar, she can do decent damage, but she's mainly can do a good amount of healing as well. Bucket is another high risk, high reward healer, where if her skills get going, she can do a ton of healing damage, but she's pretty low on health, so she can get taken out quite easily. And then the last one I have here is Vanguard. He can do a really heavy shield to one ally. And I'm pretty sure all of them have less health than Ronin, so he should get 4 charges of that Honor Bound. So we'll go ahead and we'll play this here. And so again, we have another Ronin on the other team. Let's see if we can get their Kobold here. Because Ronin is energy, I want to try and take out their Biochem. And so another tactic with, if you're going against another Ronin is, and you can see their dog face just took out my Ronin. So another tactic is you try and take out all the other characters, because every hero that you take out, Ronin will get weaker. And so you can see with this other team that their Ronin and Dogface, their 2 damage dealers, were quite a bit stronger than the other 3, Kobold, Nightingale, Phalanx, which were their support. So this is typically how you would see Ronin used. If we were to look at the numbers here, so you can see their 2 damage dealers, Dogface and Ronin, did a massive amount of damage. And per second, yeah, anything, usually if I look at the numbers, 20,000 damage per second and above is a great number. So let's try this team one more time, and then I'll show you usually how people use Ronin. Usually with Ronin, people will do what's called sandbagging. Well, they'll have a really strong Ronin with really weak support. So with this other team, I'm going to try and take out their Flatline and then their Cinder. And then after that, we'll see what we can do here. Okay, so I was able to get their Flatline. Let's see if we can get their Cinder. Because Ronin is blue or energy, he does best against bio. Oh, dang it. Their Cinder just got me. And yeah, so this isn't a very good setup. Obviously, I'm getting crushed here. So, yeah. getting crushed here. This isn't a T. I usually don't use Ronin, so we sort of lagged out a little there, but yeah. So if you're watching this, don't run this setup, exact setup. So we have one more life with Ronin. And so again, you can see with this team I just went against, Cinder, who was their primary damage dealer, is significantly higher than the others, whereas my team is relatively close. So that you'll see that a lot in PvP, where the other team might have one or two really strong damage dealers with the support staff at much lower. So you can see their two strongest, Steel and Cinder. They're two damage dealers, and on here you can see they're much higher than the rest of their team. And that team power, so mine was 66, there's a 72. That's a pretty big difference in team power. So I guess the computer must not like my team setup and is penalizing me. So let's go and do like I was talking about, where if we were to sandbag, so we'll get just some of my weaker heroes here. So you can see all of these, they're not necessarily good support heroes, but they're just significantly weaker than Ronin. So now my total team power went from 66,000 down to 43,000. And so we'll see who I matched up against here, but it should be a bit of a weaker team. So this team, this is a really well set up team. It's going to probably totally crush me with their force up. So that is another one of the problems with Ronin, is that he is very susceptible to a mechanical damage dealer. And there's all the top damage dealers currently are mechanical, so Forceps, Shivs, Kurtz are all mechanical or orange damage dealers, and they're all primarily the best. So that didn't work out either, but you can see it didn't like my setup. But this is a prime example of this other guy, this other team I went against. This is a prime example of exactly what I did. He just did it a lot better, where his Forceps at 13,000 is 4,000 stronger than all the rest of his support. If I had a better support, it might have been, well, his Forceps would have taken out my Ronin in a couple seconds anyways. But this is sort of exactly what you're going to see a lot of in PvP, and a lot of people will complain. And so if you're trying to run an even team, you're probably going to have a bad time. Good luck with that, but you're going to run into a lot of this, where they have one strong damage dealer that's significantly stronger than the other 3 or 4 heroes on their team. That's going to do a majority of their damage. So if we were to look at their numbers here, so you can see their Forceps did a ton of damage. Right now, I would say he's probably the best hero in the game. And then per second, again, you can see he's up around that, definitely above the 20,000, up closer to 30,000 damage per second. And then you can see with my Ronin, I got up past the 20,000, but you can see that blue bar is the amount of damage I took per second, which was huge. So hopefully you learned a little bit in this video how to sandbag, sandbagging 101 here. If you enjoyed this video, learned something new, a like and subscribe is always appreciated. And best of luck. Thanks.